Life in this physical body is very short, even if we live to be 100 years old. When I discovered this, I decided not to waste my time creating conflict, mainly with the people I love. I want to enjoy them, and I do that by loving them for who they are, not for what they believe. I don't care if your story don't agree with mine. I love you, and I enjoy your presence. I listen to your story. I respect your story, and I don't make it wrong. Respect is one of the greatest expressions of love. If other people try to write your story, it means they don't respect you. They don't consider you an artist who can write your own story, even though you were born to write your own story. I also respect myself, and I don't allow anybody to write my story. My story is my responsibility. I'm the artist and I respect my own art. I compare my art with other people's art, but I make my own choices, and I take responsibility for my own creations. When I first had the awareness that I didn't like my story, I thought, okay, I'm the author, I'll change my story. And I tried, and I failed many times because I was trying to change all the secondary characters in my story. I thought if I changed the secondary characters, I was changing my story. It was not true at all. The problem is not with the secondary characters in our stories. What we see in them is just a projection of what we believe, and that is a secondary problem. The main problem is with the main character of the story. If we don't like our story, there's only one way to change it, and that is by changing what we believe about ourselves. Like a wave that ripples across the water, we change ourselves and everything else changes. Just like magic, the whole story starts to change to adapt to the new main character. This is easy to prove because the main character is changing anyway, but is changing by itself without your awareness. The way you perceive the world when you're 8 or 9 years old is not the same the way you perceive the world when you're 15 or 16. You see the world differently when you're first married or when you have your first child. Your point of view changes. The way you express yourself changes too. And the changes can be so dramatic that it's going to seem like two different people. If you talk about something that happened when you were a child, your father or mother will have a different story. Your father might say, "This is what happened." And you say, "No, you're wrong. This is what really happened." Who's right and who's wrong? Well, both of you are right according to your own stories. You don't need to make others wrong because you already know in their stories they're right. And being right or wrong is over. You no longer have to defend what you believe. When we reach this level of awareness, it is easier not to take what other people say personally. Without awareness, there is nothing we can do, because the story is so powerful that the story writes itself. We create the story. We give our personal power to the story. But with awareness, we recover the control of our story. If we don't like our story, we're the authors. We can change it.